For our Harry Potter project, we're going to need a paper background, something that looks like a piece of paper. If you're using if you're using Flip Anim, it already looks like some grid paper. But if you're using Adobe Animate, we need to find something. So I'm in Sketchpad right now. And with Sketchpad, this is the blank background. But if I get a new Sketchpad file and instead of blank, I could pick grid. And if I pick grid, then I get a grid paper background. Or I could pick this version of it, and it's got a green tint to it. I could also pick lined, and then in this case, it just looks like, it's the lined paper without the red line going vertically down it. This one looks like loose leaf paper with those red lines. I like that one. This one is a notebook paper, so it looks sort of like legal paper. It's got a yellowish tint to it. I would use one of those. Don't use the blueprint one. No one uses paper like that at school. This is no background, and the blank one just looks like we're doing normal animation. So any of these graphed or lined ones here would do. I'm going to pick the loose leaf one here and use that. Okay, so that's my background. That's all we need for Sketchpad. We just have to export it now. So the only thing I need to do to export is click on Export and say Save JPEG. Now, if I go to my Downloads folder, I don't really need Sketchpad anymore. I'm on a Mac here, so my Downloads folder is here. And let me see, this is the one I just exported now. So here it is. This, for some reason, it's called Fall 17. There it is. If you want to change the name of it, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to call it paper, just so I know what it is. Now I want to put it in my Adobe Animate file. I could go to File and then Import to Stage. This is the stage here, and do it that way. Actually, let me do that. And then it asks you to find it, and there's paper. That's why I named it there. It's easier to find that way. Okay, and it zooms in on it. I'm going to do Command Z to undo that. The other way is just go to your Downloads folder and click on it and just drag it and drop it, and it does it there too. So now I don't need that anymore. So that's two ways of importing it. Now, if I zoom out, if I go over here and go out 25%, this black line shows the animation area. This is 1280 by 720. In Sketchpad, I also made this 1280 by 720. I'm not sure why it looks twice as big. But anyway, to fix that, because we could just use this. Actually, let me show you. It looks like you're zoomed in, which is okay. But I think it looks better with more lines, all these lines. So what we're going to do is use the free transform tool. It's right here. It's this tool right here. If I click on that, okay, you'll see how it puts this rectangle around it with these little control points, and this is the point of rotation here. So if I make it bigger or smaller, it anchors that. I'm going to do Command Z to undo what I did. I'm going to move that point of rotation. I clicked and dragged on it. I'm going to move it to the corner. That's going to anchor that corner. So if I grab it in this corner, the lower right corner, to shrink it, the upper left corner is anchored, and I can just make it about the same size as that black line that goes around the drawing area. And now I can zoom back into 100% or show the whole thing or whatever I want. And so now this is where I'm drawing. Now I could tweak it a little bit more if I wanted to. Oops. Click on this and get it a little bit better now that I'm zoomed in, but that's close enough. Okay, so now I can start my animation. Now, there's a few things here. First of all, this is my background. I would highly recommend double-clicking on layer 1 and calling it background or calling it paper or something so that you know what it is. I also don't want to draw on it. I want to draw on the layers above it. So underneath this lock, if I go here and click on it, it'll lock the layer for me. Okay, now I want to get another layer. Bam, there, layer 2. And I'm going to start drawing something. I'm going to double click on it and call it header. and I'm going to put a header on the paper. It should look like something that you're doing in school, and you're doing some doodles on your paper. The thing is, with these doodles, they're going to be animated. It's sort of like the paintings in the Harry Potter movie. The doodles on your notes will be animated too in that world. And we want to have a Halloween type theme, or a magical type theme, or a Harry Potter type theme, or some combination of those, and we'll put it together into a movie called Harry Potter and the Halloween Doodles. Now, if you're trying to type something here, you need more space. If you click right here, right before that first frame there's a little line, and if I click on it and drag it, when the cursor turns like that, I can get more or less, so I can make longer names and stuff. We're gonna have a lot of layers before you're done. I only got like a layer and a half here too. I want to be able to see more layers than just that. So what I'm going to do right above the name of this, right now it's called Untitled 1 because I didn't save it as anything yet. Right above it, see how the cursor changes shape? When it does that, click and drag, and I can lower that. Then right above tools, there's another line there. Click and drag and go that. That gives me more room for more layers. Okay, so I'm going to do the header. Now I'm going to use the brush. Click on the brush over to the right over here. You can change the size of the brush. I like 2 pixels is fine with me. I go over to the paint can. I want it to look like a pencil, so I'm going to pick a light gray, and then you can put put a header on. I was gonna here. Let me Command Z. Let me see. But you can put any name. I'll just write Harry Potter. But if you're gonna, don't use your own name though. So you either use a name from the stories, or you could I'll just put Harry P. Or you can make up your own name, make up your own character or something, and then classic math, science, English, or for Harry Potter maybe it's potions class. So and then you can put the date and stuff. I'm just gonna stop here. Don't use a text box. Actually, try to write it so that it looks like someone tried to write it, because no one's going to use type a text, any text on your notes for a class. It's going to be written, sort of like that, and sloppy is fine because it's supposed to look like notes. And since it's potions class, I'm going to draw. Let me see here. I'll just draw like some kind of container or beaker or something. Okay. Oops. Actually, I do want that on its own layer. So I'm going to Command Z to undo. I'm going to get another layer. It's a good idea to put everything on different layers. So if I ever want to change this, I know that's on that layer. And if I want to change that beaker, I know it's on its own layer. If I want to move it or something, it's not going to disturb anything on any of the other layers. Okay, so there we go. So I'll call that, I'll just call it container. Okay, so now I got a container, and now I'm going to get another layer, and this is going to be the potion. Okay, potion. And for that, I want to use a different color, sort of like I got a colored pencil or a marker or something, and I'm just doodling. So I'm just going to, again, don't fill it in with the fill tool, because when you're taking notes, you don't have something to just sort of fill in for you. So just sort of scribble it in there. There's my potion. And I'm going to have it like sort of start to ooze out a little bit. So, and then you, of course, can draw all kinds of stuff all over. I'm just going to start off with this. I can always go back to these frames and add more things. And so now if I left click on this icon here, I can make a keyframe, blank keyframe, or a frame. Okay, I want a blank keyframe because I'm going to keep changing the potion. So I'm going to click on that. I just got a blank keyframe here. There's the first frame, there's this blank keyframe. It automatically made, the container and the header and the paper last one more frame. If you don't want that to happen, you can always put a blank keyframe there and it'll stop, but it'll automatically do that for you. I'm going to turn on onion skin to see where it was, because I'm going to have it change, and then I'm just going to draw it a little differently. Sorry about the sound effects. I often make sound effects when I draw. Okay. Good enough. I'm just going to do it quickly. And then I'm going to get another one. Okay, so there we go. And then I'm going to have it go up a little bit higher. And let me see. Oh, it's always a good idea to lock the layers that the layer that you clicked on that's highlighted is the layer you're drawing on. Lock the other layer so you don't accidentally draw on them. So if I want it to get a little more wild as I'm going here, I'll clean it up later. And then if I go over here to the eraser, and I want to make the eraser a little bit bigger than 2. And I can sort of just give it a little trim here. And I don't have to worry about messing up the container because I have those layers locked. Okay. So now I'm going to get another one, and now I'm going to use the brush again, but now the brush is set to what I set the eraser to. So I'm going to click there and put 2. I want it to go back to 2, and then just continue to have it go up again. And I'll just do this one more, just to show you a little bit of the animation. So the idea is it's going to start to ooze up a little bit, and I'll fill in the middle here. Again, sorry about the sound effects, but that's what I do. Okay, so I'm going to turn off onion skin now and play it. So it's starting to ooze up, and then I'll have it ooze up and spill all over the place, and maybe I'll write something over there that it spills on, and maybe something else happens, and I could animate a little doodle bat that flies. But again, don't solid fill in, because that's not going to look like someone doodled it. Don't type anything in, because that's not going to look like someone wrote it. And then just keep it on the paper. Anything magic, anything Harry Potter related, anything Halloween related, it will be fine. And maybe add a few things so it looks like you're actually started to take notes in a class and decided to doodle for a while. Okay. The last thing would be exporting it. And there's a video that shows how to export Mp4 files. So I think you can just watch that video. So anyway, I hope this helps. Good luck with everything. Be creative.